smoking, but when they hear this song, they'll learn there's more to toking. 25,000 different things we can make from it, and if we give it a chance, we'll save the blinking planet. Food, fuel and medicine, necessities for life, a benefit to all of us, our wonder and delight. Within this smelly weed, there's more than meets the eye, so much, much more than smoking, it can cleanse our dirty skies. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is a very useful weed.
Well, hello, we're there. We've come in. Right. Good evening, Steve.
Hey, good evening.
Hemp Works. On the time for hemp. Lovely. Right. We got Casper's in Oregon, in America. I believe it's about 6 a.m. I'm in Cluj, Romania. I'm sort of like about 4. And my guest today, or my guest tonight, whatever time zone you want to be in, is a guy called Ben Dronkers. And Ben Dronkers only gets one name in this cannabis industry. He's the king of cannabis. Ben, thank you for coming on the show. It's a real pleasure.
Hey, thank you. I'm not the king. I'm the emperor, right?
No, sorry. Right, I'm not talking to the king. I'm talking to
the
emperor.
You got other people who invented cannabis, right?
Yeah.
I'm nobody, man. I'm just together with the plant.
Well, I believe that 100% of you, Ben. But unfortunately, when we look at your history and what you've done over the years, yeah, out travelling about when you was a young man up in India and Afghanistan, I believe, bringing back seeds into Holland.
Yeah.
And you started the Bulldog shop and the cafe scene in Holland. No,
not the Bulldog, not the Bulldog.
Oh, sorry, but
yeah, Hank de Vries, he's a great guy. Bulldog was great.
Yeah,
but that's not me. Sensi Seeds,
okay.
Hemp Works, and the hash marijuana in Barcelona and Amsterdam.
Yeah, and a good proportion of the green district in Amsterdam, of course. So a most amazing career, absolutely. What can I say? What happened, Ben? Why did you get involved in cannabis? Why have you spent your life doing it?
Well, you smoke it and you grow it and you know it. What else can I say? You know, it is my third eye opened.
Yeah.
And a new world opened with cannabis. It was a new world, and it's still there. Every time there's something new.
That's fantastic. Ben, roughly, give us a time scale. How long do you think have you been involved in this industry?
Something about nearly 40 or what?
40 years, no more. And of course, you met them all. You met Jack. You met myself for whatever it's worth. I mean, some of the people that have come through your door, some of the people you've sat with, absolute legends, bless them.
Beautiful people, a lot of them.
Beautiful people, absolutely. So, for those that don't know about Sensi Seed Bank, can you tell us a little bit about Sensi Seed Bank?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man.
Well, you know, when I started smoking it, I just wanted to know more what I smoked. So then I realized they grow it in Lebanon, in Turkey, in Morocco, you know, and that were not so far away to go. Mm-hmm. So I want to go there. I wanted to go there and I see the farmers sweating, eating dust, hard life, but happy people. And the plant is really something that unites people. So right away when I came there, you know, I was united with the farmers.
Yeah.
And it's.
Sorry. What year are we talking about? Can you give us some sort of year? Just what time scale like?
I have no idea. I forgot years, man.
All right, I'll put one on for you if you don't mind. Then I think we're talking about the late 60s, early 70s. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, 70s, half 70s or what? Yeah, early 70s, 72, 74, something.
Yeah. But certainly a long way back. Certainly a long way back for a young Dutchman to go travelling around in all these amazing places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I'm sure it was. I bet you still have very fond memories of it.
Oh, great, you know, and that's why also the people who are interested and researching and doing things with cannabis already in those days, we used to come together in Amsterdam. You know,
Yeah.
And when I started the Sensi Seed Shop, and we did the hemp museum, hash marijuana hemp museum.
Yeah.
Then a lot of people from all over the world came to see us because it was
Didn't they
something
just?
special. We had the liberty to do that.
Yeah.
And from there, all those people you just mentioned, mention a lot of them. There's too many to mention. Ed Rosenthal, Danks,
Yeah.
Jack.
Chris Conrad. The list is like incredible, isn't it? A list of people.
Yeah, and we had the same vision. We had the same ideas. Not always the same ideas, but at least the same love for the plant.
Yeah.
And in that sense, we all were activists. And
yeah.
But before all, we were smokers. We loved the
Yes.
smoke and we loved the plant. And then the growing was amazing because it is something alive. It become you get bonded with it. You know, you got this feeling with this plant. And I know for sure all your listeners who grow it, they know it. You got your bondage. And I learned that from my mother, actually.
Really?
Plants. Yeah, she had beautiful flowers in the garden. And always, when I visit her, she showed me how beautiful the flowers was. And she give cow shit and chicken shit as fertilizer.
Yeah.
So when I start to grow my cannabis, I just follow what she did.
Well, mother knows best. And you can't disagree with mother.
Well, my these grandmothers, they knew how to do some knitting. They know how to cook. They knew how to repair your socks, And the new grandmothers, they know how to make a selfie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the new grandma.
I'm in Romania at the moment, and of course the older generation here all remembers hemp. They all grew it, they all used it, and we're going around local places now picking up the local traditions, and all I can say, some of the stuff I'm seeing is absolutely unbelievable, because here's the living memory of it. They're still doing it. And of course that sort of moves us on a little bit about one of my favourite subjects, because Sensi Seed Bank is one thing, and of course the history of it. And anybody that's not been to Amsterdam should go. And anybody that goes to Amsterdam, if you don't go to the Hash Museum or the Hash and Hemp Museum, you really are missing something very special. It's an amazing place. And I believe you have one in Barcelona now.
Yeah, the Barcelona is even more great because the building on its own is really, really nice.
Yeah, I've not visited that one yet, but I intend to.
Oh, it's amazing. It's a modernista building. It took me about 9 years, nearly 10 years to do that job because it was in bad shape when I got it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've heard very good reports about it, that's for sure. So, Ben, that sort of moves us on to hemp flax, because after Sensi and after the smoking bit came the agricultural hemp bit. And I know personally that you've invested heavily over the years and have been very, very supportive of the hemp industry. So can you tell us a little bit about hemp flax? Because I don't think many people sort of know that side of you or that side of the family.
The moment we learn what this plant was, I was curious. And when we have the museum for several years, maybe 6, 7, I forgot. But we had the museum, and the only question I couldn't answer was from skeptical people who say, yeah, you talk all about this hemp, but if it is so great, if it is so fantastic, why nobody's doing it?
Yeah.
And that's the answer I couldn't answer, and I thought, yeah, what the fuck? Why nobody doing it?
Yeah.
So I made a lot of money with the Sensi seeds.
Yeah.
And I had money in the bank, and then I could buy a second-hand bankrupt flax factory. Well, flax you can put it next to hemp. It's a sort of similar crop. So I thought, well, maybe I can do hemp there. So I just go there and bought the place, and not knowing nothing about what we're going to do with it. We just start growing hemp. And believe me, for the first few years, it was the biggest adventure of my life, because nobody knew how to harvest, because the last harvest was before the Second World War. The machinery, they had still some in France. They didn't want to share any information. So it was just a big adventure to start with it, and it was fantastic.
Am I correct in saying this was in Holland that you opened the first factory?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It was, wasn't it? The first one.
Yeah. And then I was lucky again because we had a big paper industry in the north of Holland, and the people I bought the flax factory from, they wanted to go on with the flax because they were bankrupt for the moment. Yeah. And they would like to buy the factory back. So on that moment, I could buy a bloody big paper mill factory. Yeah. Wow. With the machine in it. Yeah. And we all know that hemp paper is great, right? Yeah. So I thought, well, why don't I go to this company and maybe I can buy that factory? Yeah. And they sold it to me quite cheap. Because they had 11 factories there in the north of Holland. And closed already 8 or 9. And they feel very guilty, according to the local farmers and the local people, because they lose all their jobs and their work. Yeah. So they were happy that there was an idiot who wanted to go hemp for paper.
I bet they couldn't believe their luck.
No, I think they were laughing their ass off because they knew already it was sort of impossible. Yeah. And they were right. But nevertheless, I got this huge factory for cheap again. Yeah. And we just started growing, and it was amazing, how it works. Yeah. Because the first harvest, we did 100-something hectares. Yeah. And the machine we had, was a double cutter. And it's like you see in the old movies, like in the Hemp for Victory movie, you see still this. Yeah. Going with a horse, So they started going around on a field of 25 hectares, and it took them about 2.5 hours to go in one circle. So I realized already, this is not going to work, So then, because we had money, we put money again in the development of machinery and stuff. And, I still have to laugh about myself because for more than 20 years, we only lost money. We only put money in it because I knew it's going to work.
I do know that as a fact about you, actually, Ben, because I followed hemp flax more than I followed sensitive seed because I come more from the agricultural side, and I just know that some of the ridiculous amounts of money that have been spoken about in private about how much you've invested.
Yeah, it was really. Yeah, man. Yeah. But I have not a single regret, because
I bet you don't.
It is coming, and now it's for sure it's coming.
Yeah. So that sort of led on to, I believe, a factory in Germany and one in France.
No, not in France.
No, not in France. Oh no, sorry, that was some machinery, wasn't it? Some machinery.
Well, the thing is that when I had my factory in Holland, in Germany there were, on those days, the government and the banks, they give a lot of subsidy and loans. Yes. Because that Germany just united. Yeah. East and West Germany just united, and in East Germany they give much money away, the government. So some people, they just started a hemp factory to get the money. They invest 80,000 to get 8 million from the banks and the government. Yeah. So they spend it, and then the factory get bankrupt again, of course. Yeah. And then I bought the factory. Your lighter is not working for your joint. Huh? You're smoking a joint.
I have.
I can hear the lighter. Sounds like me.
A man that knows the trick of a lighter.
Yeah, those people they just they just go for the money, don't they?
And then we had the same problem in the UK because the subsidy was one of the biggest subsidies out there, and the English people being subsidy farmers, they've done exactly this. They just grew hemp and didn't do anything with it just to get the subsidy on it.
No, but in those days it was for a farmer they got about 800-900 euro convert for 1 hectare.
I know, I concur with that. It was a ridiculous amount of money.
But like in Spain and Greece, they grow hemp. You know, they just put a handful of seeds on the soil, and they say we have a photo, we grow hemp, and they got the subsidy and they burned it. So there was a lot of, you know, we never do that. We didn't do that.
No.
But we just try to do it the proper way. But that was also the reason why so many bankrupt companies came up.
Yeah.
And I just bought them over and used machinery, so we use the local farmers, and we still do in some places.
Yeah.
But
so bring us up to speed now. Then. I mean, I obviously know a little bit about more hemp flax than a lot of people because I'm in Romania. And you've opened up this massive, great site here, which I visited about 2 weeks ago. I must say, I was very impressed.
It is nice, yeah, it is. And can you imagine, Steve, we did it in a year time.
I know.
You know, we just bought
very, very, very impressive. Very impressive.
We had the machine standing ready there. And we bought the land, and within a year, we put the whole factory there. It's amazing. Yeah. And especially, you know, that was also Mark, my manager there.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job, and all the, you know, most of the people working in hemp flax are working a long time. So we got a real good team with a lot of knowledge, and then we know what we're doing. And actually, on this moment, we just bought machinery again, and for 2 lines, so we can open 2 more factories.
Wow.
And we're thinking about going into the United States because they need hemp.
Yeah.
And so, but you know, the thing is, you still need a lot of money to do that. And we still make a lot of money, but we don't have enough to do all these projects. So we're looking for investors to come along with us. But we go slowly. We're not in a hurry. We're doing fine. Finally, we make money with hemp flax also.
Yeah.
So it just goes slowly.
Yeah. Besides the actual factory itself, some of that is actually built out of hemp cream that was grown on site, which is absolutely fantastic. It was just the size of it, Ben. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's great.
It really is incredible. There's field after field after field. After variety, after variety, I mean, honest to God, there can't be a bigger plantation than that anywhere on this earth at the moment. It's just, of course, no barbed wire.
No. But, you know, it is 1,500 ton. Remember, 1,500 times 1,000 kilo.
Yeah.
We didn't sell. And then one Turkish paper manufacturer came, and they make cigarette paper. For example, for Philip Morris and the brand Turkish brand C1000, and they bought all the fiber from our factory. I was so happy, you know. One big ship full of hemp fiber goes to Turkey, and they make it in cigarette paper, and so that means they all smoke my hemp, and that was a real satisfactory
feeling. Remind me never to play cards with you. I think you're far too lucky.
They smoked it.
Yeah, man. Well, that's nice. All these uses that you put it to, all these uses that are going forward. Again, I'm gonna have a little bit of me time now because one of the things I've been doing is working with the traditional Romanesco canoper people here, and as we've been going around, one of the problems they got no fibre. And of course, I've been down your factory, you've got tonnage of it, so I'm going to go down there next week with a van and load it up and take it all around to the traditional manufacturers, because once they got the fibre, they hand spin it, hand weave it, hand stitch it, hand everything it, all they're doing is lacking a bit of fibre. So I'm going to go down and see Mark and Una next week and try and load a van up for them. I'm sure you won't miss a little bit.
Tell him you have to sell it cheap, otherwise you nick it, right?
Yeah, I will. I'll climb over the fence and steal it, unfortunately.
We don't have any fences.
I know you don't.
But then you have to hand break it, right? You have to do it by hand.
They still hand break it, hand ret it, hand break it, hand spin it, hand weave it.
Yeah, right. So
The
tell
whole thing.
tell Mark you're gonna have I told you he's gonna have a big discount, okay?
Yeah, mate, you know that.
Because
Because the
all
traditional
right,
people here have got no money, so we give him something, but he won't get a lot out of us. But next year, as we revive the industry, then there'll be a bit more in it. Yeah. But what a lovely
absolutely.
solution, because that's all they're looking for. They've all run out of fibre. Yeah, bless them. And I thought,
We got it.
I know where the fibre is.
Okay, we got it. And we give it cheap, okay?
You know that. You know that. And of course, compared to what the automo industry is using, they don't use a lot. Yeah, I think
No.
a baler person most probably see them, because next year also they've changed the licensing here. Besides you big
Oh.
growers, which I think you're doing a fantastic job on, because the big side of the industry is needed. The traditional growers are going to be allowed to grow, I think it's up to 2 hectares in their back garden. So from next year, they'll actually be able to grow their own crops. Yeah.
Well, I
Which
don't mind if they can join us. On our
Yeah, man, you know, that's fantastic, because each one of them as well, we've seen a few that have got the license and they all grow it a bit different and they all grow it their way and they all sort of go in the field every day and do this. Oh, man, it's magic. Absolutely.
Yeah, but you know why? Yeah, I know, but because that's also the reason why, because what those people do is more sustainable than Jaguar or BMW.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
You know, because of course it's beautiful that they change on the large scale, but textile is still coming from China. To build a process line for textile is so expensive. You cannot believe. The spinning and the weaving those factories are so huge.
Yeah.
We had a company like I think they're called Haynes, and they're a big textile company, and they did some test with our fiber in Canada, a few containers, but they choose to go to flax because they didn't expect America will be free for hemp, and then the transportation cost from Europe should be too expensive. I thought it was a wrong decision. They should have gone for it. Like some big companies, they can do it, and they have to do it. We cannot.
Of course they do. Eventually, they've got to do it. Yeah.
They have to do it, and because there's no other way. There's no other way. Give me one plant that doesn't use insecticides and pesticides. Call me one. Even flax.
Nettle.
All right, but and bamboo also. But it doesn't bring you all the things that hemp can bring you, right?
Of course it doesn't.
And that's the big thing, and I hope it changes soon. We have some connections with big companies coming over now, and well, they're like a bunch of lions, they want to eat you right away. But that's the only way. They have to do it. So then,
of course they do.
I'm sorry to say so, but so also to your listeners, and I hope that you don't misunderstand me. But the small
I don't think there's any misunderstanding, Ben, because I totally agree with you. I spoke to a guy called Gordon Mackey years ago. He came from a company called Mackey International from Ireland, one of the biggest textile experts in the world. And this was back in the late 90s. And Gordon said then, Gordon Mackey actually put in one of the big textile magazines that we have to go back to natural fibres, otherwise we're going to run out of cotton, and synthetic fibres will never be able to replace what that does. And we all know the cotton industry is totally corrupt with all the water they use and the pesticides they use. The only logical, sensible replacement crop is hemp every time. You know that. Exactly. I know that. Casper knows that. So many of us know that.
They know it also now.
Yeah. And such a fantastic fibre. I mean, hemp clothing is such a beauty to wear. Huh?
But it is with all these industries and all this agricultural industry. If we eat potato and you want to have an organic potato, it is so bloody difficult and so expensive to grow organic. People don't know. They think it's simple. But if you want to make it on a commercial scale, and it's the same with hemp, you need to do big advancements and investments, and you have to do it on a larger scale, And all these people who are trying it now with a couple of 100 acres or what, it's not easy. They're going to lose money because it's too expensive, And I'm sorry to say that. I wish it was different, but it's so. But it's as long as it comes there, hemp should be there. instead of the bloody plastic and cutting trees, you know.
Yeah.
There's so much beautiful wood coming out of hemp, you know. There's so much food coming out of hemp, fiber, the whole lot, and you have to be.
Whole lot, isn't it?
You know, I always say to politicians, and I'm always too blunt, but that's why I never get so far with them. I say, you have to be a bloody idiot or corrupt, not to see it, you know.
Yeah.
And they are corrupt, you know. They see it, but they follow what the big boss say, right? So that's sad, but it's changing.
It's changing, Ben. And again, I'm going to have to go back to sort of, it's people like you that have looked after that, the commitment you've made to it financially, and the whole of the family, and your mother apparently. It's been absolutely amazing.
A good example.
Go for it.
A good example is also like in the cold countries like Holland, and the whole bloody north of Europe. We need to insulate our houses, right?
Yeah.
And what they have is glass wool and rock wool. Well, the glass wool and the rock wool are as bad as asbestos.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, the government gives subsidy to this kind of stuff, and even this burst foam, you know, they have this chemical foam to insulate, and people using it and getting sick in those houses because they're sitting around with a lot of glass fiber that children and babies already breathe when they're born, and the chemical shit what come out of it is amazing, and we got Hempflex produce hemp insulation, and it's great, but it's bloody. We can't get it into the market because the contractors and the architects, you know, they see, but it is so many % more expensive, but they don't realize that little bit of percentage on the total building is just a mini nothing, you know, compared to the quality of life that people have in these buildings, and you know, concrete buildings, and this glass fiber and rock fiber and chemical fiber insulation make people sick. It makes people sick and not happy. So I don't understand why they don't see. They don't want to see because they're all connected. You know, these big rock wool companies, they are so huge, you don't believe it. You know, so to compete with them, or even to get the truth on top of the water, and to say, hey, this is really, you know, in 10, 20 years, I guarantee you, and this is historical on your radio show, they maybe might recall me, in 10, 20 years ago, they have to take it away, like asbestos now. You have to take it away, and you have to pay for it, and the people in white suits and masks come to take it away, very expensive, because it's dangerous for people.
It's poison.
It's poison, and they know it, and now they know it also, but they can't change it. The stock value and the company value of those people is so tremendously high that they cannot stop it. Also, many thousands of people working it, but we should stop it. We should do it, you know. And
it's got to be done.
Put all these people back in working with hemp, because it's a job with hemp as well.
And of course, the concrete. I found out when I was looking at the building material with Steve Allen, and way back in the day working with Ralph Carpenter, the architect, when he built the first 2 hemp homes up in Haverhill in England, that the concrete was basically owned by about 4 companies all around the world. All the concrete leads back to about 4 different companies. And that's just poisonous stuff. And it falls down after 100 years anyway. When you build with hemp, it lasts forever. Financially, it does make sense. It's just a bit of a more financial input at the beginning, but you got something that lasts, something that's organic and something that's safe. And as you say, you can't value good quality life. We're old fellas, Ben. I'm 60. You're pushing a bit more than 60.
Right.
We know the quality of life is what it's all about, isn't it? No?
It is. And, you know, the thing is also like with hempcrete, I got it already in my house in Holland. You feel it. When you go into the house, you feel it. No doubt about it. The walls are breathing. And the insulation is great, you know, and I wish that for all people. And your hempcrete is something, of course, that's going to come in the future. You know, the oldest temple somewhere, I think in India, I forgot.
Yeah.
1,500 years old. You know, it's totally built of hempcrete. And
Well,
because
I say the pyramids are built out of it. Plain and simple. I've been talking to Professor Pollard down in France. The pyramids are built from hemp.
I don't know.
So are all the ancient structures, because they pour.
No, I only know the old temple in India, 1,500
Well, that
years
one's been proven. That's the joy of that. That has now been proven.
Yes.
I think as we see the science unfold, we will start to realise that all these big temples were built from hempcrete, or a type of hempcrete.
The Romans used it. You know, it's all over the world.
Rome used it.
That's the nice thing from my museums, that through the history I learned so much.
You learn so much every time.
That we really went to certain areas with hemp, because I learned it from the museum. You know, I said, hey, this is already done so many years ago, and it's the same with medicine, right? The medicine is, I mean, it's so old that it was good for people for thousands of years, and it's good for people now. But because of the pharmaceutical industry, we're not even allowed to grow our own medicine.
Absolutely, which is ridiculous, because I'm actually a patient at a time. I had end-stage cirrhosis of the liver and hepatitis C, and all the medicine they gave me only killed me. It was only until I started taking the cannabis medicine that I'm now fully repaired, fully regenerated, and bouncing around like a teenager.
Right, and if you see in the museum, I have a big collection of hemp medicine bottles from the old days. And
you have indeed. And books, and many books.
Yes, of course. But you know, then you see that about 80 to 90% of the medicine in those days contains cannabis.
Yeah, man. Anyway, look, Ben, we've done all that, right? So let's tell the listeners now. Where are you?
Where I am?
Yeah, where are you? You've retired, haven't you? You've retired and you've buggered off somewhere. You've gone somewhere different. Where are you?
you know, it is the dream of every grower, you know.
So whereabouts are you now?
Have a nice house on the beach. Have nice pussy, and I smoke weed on the beach. So
yes, but where are you? Where? What country?
In Malaysia.
In Malaysia. Oh, bless you, man. Yeah, I've heard a little bit about that. You got something down there, and it sounds
in Borneo,
very nice.
actually. In Borneo.
Yeah, man. So, what made you go to Borneo of all places? A man from Holland.
Especially, I love the people. It's really beautiful.
Right.
Mixture. It's a half Christian, half Muslim.
Yeah.
Chinese, Indian, Caucasian.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful mix, and they don't fuck up about religion or. No. They're very friendly. I love the people. And then it's the rainforest. I love rain, and I love forest, you know. And like you.
And of course, they got the orangutans down there, haven't they?
Yeah, and then everybody thinks, how can you smoke weed on the beach? Well, I'm a patient as well, and I'm allowed to bring my Dutch medicine. So for the rest, Malaysia is a beautiful country, nice people. And everybody thinks there's a lot of hate going on between, they try to make people hate each other because of religion. Yeah. And lucky it's not happening in Sabah here in Borneo yet. Wow. And I hope it stays that way, you know, because it's the world has to change. And Malaysia is still a funny country, but Holland as well, as the UK, as the US, what it's not. They're all funny countries, right?
They're all funny countries at the moment, aren't they?
So I respect...
Especially over this religious stuff.
I'm a guest
really winding that up.
I'm a guest here, and I behave like a guest. I respect everything, the law, and whatever happens. So I'm happy here. And I'm retired.
I'm sure you are. Yeah.
The few years that I still can live, you know, let me enjoy it. I worked hard.
Yeah, right. You did indeed.
Anyway,
listen, hold on a minute. You're going a few more yet. The pictures that I've seen just lately, especially you in Tokyo, because you was at this hemp thing in Tokyo, wasn't you, with the First Lady and blah, blah, blah. You are looking extremely healthy, young man.
I am.
You are indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously you're taking your own medicine, as per usual.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah. Oh, by the way, let's get while we was on that subject about living a bit longer. I've reached a certain age, and I think I've got more years. You've got a few, and we just lost that fella, didn't we, from the UK, Mr. Nice? Bless him. Howard Marks. What a man he was.
Good friend of mine.
Yeah, I know he was. Yes, that's why I brought him up. I met him a few times, so I wouldn't say he was a good friend of mine because I didn't know him that well. But the times I did meet him, nice guy, Mr. Nice.
No, I'm happy to say he was a real friend. He was a real friend.
He was funny, wasn't he? That's what I always loved about him. Howard was very funny. He had a good sense of humour.
The most beautiful thing about him, he was always positive.
Absolutely.
And in our field, you cannot be always positive. You get fucked up by the government or by the police or whatever. And he was a genius. He was a gentleman.
He was a gentleman. Yeah, yes. He certainly was. So a big shout going out to Howard that's gone to the other side. A little bit before his time, maybe, but he had a good life and he certainly didn't hold back, did he, Ben? He wasn't the man to sit in the corner.
No, right. He did good.
So obviously you're down in Borneo now. You've got a nice spot. You're quite happy. You've retired. The sons are running the company and doing a very good job of it by the looks of things.
Yeah.
Hemp Flax is doing extremely well. Sensi Bank is well. Sensi Seed is Sensi Seed.
Sensi Seeds is something like we're getting some nasty guys sometimes and negative people. They blame me that we make money, or they blame me that. But the beautiful thing about Sensi Seeds, and I can say that with pride, that there's many seed. Most of the seed companies in Holland and the rest are people who used to work with me.
Yeah,
they work in my shop or they work in my garden. Yeah. And what we got with Sensi Seeds is for the last 30 more years, 35, 37 years. Even when I took over the seed bank from Neville Shoemaker, we got all these varieties secured. So we still have the same varieties alive like 37 years ago. Yeah. And that's an accomplishment. And in the meantime, I'm collecting for my museum, we're collecting seeds from all over the world. Yeah. And recently, for the last 2-3 years, we bought over 500 varieties from the whole East. So from the north of Russia to Hungary, even Romania. And to try to conserve, all these varieties. We're not strain hunters or what, but we are strain collectors and keeping it alive. That is the most important, that you have all these land races and all this. Yeah. And that surprised me. And of course, if you crossbreed some of our seeds with some other seeds, you got a beautiful plant. Every breeder is the best breeder. Every breeder got the best grass. My grass is the best in the world.
Absolutely.
But the originals are still the originals. And and if you don't know it, you grow it and you see it. It's like wine, It's like
absolutely. It's just, I see it like that. It's like wine.
Yeah.
You compare ourselves to the wine industry. I think that's the nearest comparison we can make. Certain regions grow certain ways, and certain regions grow certain varieties, and certain.
Exactly.
Like in France, if you want to drink good French wine, you go to the French wine region. It does go to California. It does go to other places, but it's not the same as the artisan wine, which is grown.
It is, and I love. Let me put it this way: I love all the wine. Like I love all the hash. Hash is, I like hash even better than grass. But I can't get that here. I have to go to India or Afghanistan again.
Yeah,
but I miss it. That's the one I miss.
Yeah. Because you've been in Afghanistan too, haven't you? I've been in Afghanistan. I was there just before. Many times. I was only there 2 times, just as the Russians fucked off. I got taken by some Afghans.
In the beginning, before I start anything, I collected seeds.
I know you did.
And then Afghanistan and Pakistan, the Quetta Valley, for example, is got a lot of good varieties from that we crossbreed and stabilized and make it the varieties of Sensi seeds now. And we still got it. And that's what I just said, that it's the amazing accomplishment. What I think we did with Sensi seeds is to collect and sustain all these varieties, you know. And then like Robert Clark and Ed Rosenthal and George Van, all these guys, they know it and they appreciate it also. And that's why it's nice to work with these guys. And did you see Robert Clark's new book? No, huh? About the land races?
No.
I forgot the name now. Robert Clark. Look at it in the internet, guys. Then you see the history of all the varieties of cannabis from the beginning of time, from the ice period, coming from China, going to several parts of the world. And it's like what we see now with the refugees, people immigrating, and it's the same thing when people immigrate, plants can immigrate. So plants immigrate with the old hippies like me from Afghanistan, Quetta Valley, and some places where they don't have these varieties anymore themselves.
Well, Ben, we've lost Steve here. Sometimes that happens. Steve is traveling around the world, and his connection is not always that strong. But this gives me an opportunity to ask you what you thought of the summit there in Japan.
That was great. It was really, really amazing. It was my first visit to Japan. Very sophisticated people. All the streets of Tokyo and Kyoto where we went was bloody clean.
Okay.
Very law-abiding people. That was a bit scary, you know, too much, I think. Like I want to cross the street in the middle of the night. And from both sides, there's not a car in miles to see, and people wait for the traffic light. And in Holland, we used to ignore the traffic light. We just walk, no?
Right.
And they keep standing there. They are law-abiding. And but under the whole organization, all these people, so many professors from different universities, a few farmers who have a license to grow, let's say, half an acre or less, but very dedicated and very professional. And I had a beautiful experience because during the day of the symposium, also the Prime Minister's wife, Mrs. Abe, she came. And it was surprising that she's there with the mayor of Kyoto and the high priest of Japan. And first the mayor of Kyoto he sit there with his hemp clothing, you know, his traditional hemp kimono. And also the priest in his hemp kimono. And then the Prime Minister's lady, she said nearly the same thing that cannabis should be absolutely legal and hemp should be back as an industrial crop. And that's the things also she said. And I was really surprised. And you can buy CBD oil in Japan. And the next day, after that, I was supposed to go to the hemp fields to see what they do with the professors, a few guys. And that night I had a dream. And when I woke up, I told my girlfriend, I had this funny dream. I was in a hemp field and it starts raining a lot. And I was thinking also about the First Lady, because she came to the hemp field, what she say in her lecture. And when she came into the hemp field, she felt the energy. And right away she needed to pray. So she prayed in the hemp field. And I had this dream that I was really raining, and I took my shirt out. And everybody took his shirt out, and we walking in the hemp field. The next day we go to the hemp field, sunny day, beautiful weather, no problem, nothing at all. We arrive there, and the moment we arrive, it starts raining and pouring rain, and I took my shirt off, and everybody took their shirt off. It was like, really, I'm not very religious. I'm spiritual, okay. But that was after the First Lady said she came to that hemp field and she felt the energy. I felt the energy. It was amazing. It was really like in my dream, you know. It was a dream again. And then again, the people there. The field didn't look very much like, you know, but it's still a living subject, living plants. Some very small. They needed fertilizer. We know it all better, you know, but that was not important. The important thing was they were there, you know, and I felt the bondage, what I feel already a long time with this plant. It's magic. It's really consciousness. To me, it's the tree of life. It is more than a good smoke, a good medicine, a good fiber, a good everything. It is a friend of humanity. You know, it belongs with us, and that's really what I feel. Wow, I go far, huh?
I've noticed that when I'm around this plant, it seems to have its own aura, unlike any other plant. I can almost stand across the room from it and sense its energy, sense its spirit. It's really weird.
Absolutely.
Oh, man, I'm sorry. I dropped out then, man. Yeah, man. Right. Come straight back in then, Ben. I've got one question for you. Right, you counting us in or not, Casper? We're just going, yeah?
Right.
Ben, blah, 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 blah. What was my question I was going to ask you? Right, so there you are, retired, Sensi Seed Bank, hemp flax, everything's doing well. Hemp industry's looking brilliant. I don't even like to call it the medical cannabis recreational market is looking fantastic. You've retired. What's the next stage? What are you going to do next?
Wow, that's, you know... I once met a guy from England, and he told me he had 26 pups, and he sold them at once. And then he told me it is a job to enjoy yourself. So for me it's a job to enjoy myself, but still I work with my museum, of course. You know, I'm still collecting and do things. Yeah. Pamphlets. I'm still having it's a vision, you know, to work with hemp. You need a vision, not just go like a dumbass into it. You need a vision, and I want to trespass that to give it to my sons and to all my kids. You know, I got 6. They're all into the hemp in a way. So I still want to advise them, and for the rest, I want to have a few more happy years, you know, in a nice house on the beach with my nice girlfriend and smoking weed. So what else can I ask for?
Well, that sounds like what you've been doing all your life. So where's the retirement going? And I've seen you just you're so proactive on Facebook. You flew yourself over to Japan because there was something good going on over there. So I think this retirement thing is a vision that you've got that's not really going to be happening because you're just so involved in hemp. You can't put it down.
It's bloody hard. I tell you, it's bloody hard. But I try my best, okay? Yeah. And it's because you guys, and because of you, Steve, I got so many questions for interviews and stuff, and I'm not only retired, but I have to be honest, I'm tired also, you know. Yeah. So it's now for the young kids to go and they need our blessings and they need a kick under the ass, you know, to really work instead of thinking by itself, you know, like my iPhone came and my motorbike came, everything come by itself. No, they have to work on it, and because hemp and cannabis, they need workers, not
they need workers, mate. Yeah, they need workers.
We got enough dreamers.
We got plenty of dreamers, Ben, and that when you smoke it, that can make you dream all day long, can't it?
And that's good.
Getting up and doing it. That's good, man.
But dream the positive way and do something with it.
So Ben, have you got anything that you would chit chat, this, that, and the third thing? Have you got anything you would like to say to the conversation? Ben Dronkers, the table's yours.
No, well, the thing is what I just said. You know, it is now a new generation have to come up, and the new technology is going so fast. Yeah, they have to come up, so they need to have the chance also to do it. Yeah, and I give them the chance, but like I said. It is a job. It is hard working, because blood, sweat, and tears is what I gave, and blood, sweat, and tears is what cannabis and hemp still need.
Yeah.
And it's a friend of us, so we have to do it.
Well, if I can sort of just close then, if I'm a friend of the cannabis industry or the cannabis hemp industry, all I can say, Mr. Ben Dronkers, is thank you so much for the input, the inspiration, and all the most magnificent things that your family and company have managed to achieve.
Thank you, Steve. I love you.
I love you too, man. Love you, Ben. Casper. There you go. Well, you met Jack. He met Jack. Casper was Jack's press secretary, I do believe, wasn't you, Casper?
I ran his office for 3 years.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I'm sorry,
that's
I
three old boys sitting here together.
Right. And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Marijuana is illegal, right? Not necessarily. It depends on what part of the plant you're talking about.
In fact, some people here in California are selling marijuana right now. Consumer Bob has some of their products, and he's here to let us try them out. We're really looking forward to that, Bob.
Well, now, let me just say, before anyone gets upset or calls the police, let me point out that everything I'll be sharing is perfectly legal. When you say marijuana, you think of the stuff you roll up and smoke. But that's only one thing you can do with the marijuana plant. As hemp, the plant has been used for centuries, and some California entrepreneurs want to bring it back. Marijuana is grown all over the world, and yes, marijuana like this is smoked by people to get high. But that's not the only thing you can do with it. Marijuana or hemp has been used for making clothes and food for centuries. It was even legally grown in the United States to make rope during World War II. But all that's changed, and today it is illegal to grow hemp in the U.S., but it's not illegal to bring it in from other countries. That is, if you don't plan to light up. And the products that are made from it are amazing. I had a chance to check out a number of those products by some entrepreneurs who've tried to make a business out of selling hemp products. Products actually made from, yes, marijuana. Now, let me just show you. First off, this comes from the stock. Here is flax from a marijuana, from hemp.
We have to say that Sandra needs some water.
Sorry,
she got all choked up when you started talking about it.
Okay, here's the flax. Here is next to it, if you want to feel this, this is the actual yarn made from it.
What do you do with this stuff now? What is it?
Don't
It's actually a yarn is made from it. From that yarn, then, you have products. Here's a hat and a handbag, both made from hemp. Can you feel that?
A little hemp bag and a little hemp hat.
Wow.
It's a little coarse, though it can be blended with other materials. You can make paper from it. Here's a Hemp World magazine, but the paper is actually not made from trees, but made from
hemp,
cannabis, marijuana. Okay.
Pot.
You even have products, soap, even lip balm made from hemp.
Thank you so much.
But the thing that is most outrageous is food products that are made from hemp. And this, I'm showing you right here, is Hemprella. Look at this. This is a cheese made from using hemp seeds. And of course, you always eat everything nice I have for you. I thought you'd want to have...
Sandra's going to try that.
Okay.
I'm already coughing, and I haven't even taken... Oh, that looks just dreadful, Bob.
Well, here.
Do you have crackers or something to put it on? Or just a big
I'll make it real small.
Well, they have this cheese, and it's like tofu. It looks like tofu, right?
Yeah, this is kind of... Oh, come on.
Go ahead.
Oh, man. I'm not even a
Here,
tofu
I'll try
eater.
it.
Okay, and this is a hemp...
It smells kind of spicy.
A vegetarian burger with hemp seeds in it. Okay?
Okay.
You get that real quick. You can put it in ketchup if you want.
I think I'll take the ketchup, but
You can see the hemp seeds in it.
I'm going
to have a lot more at 5. Okay, on the 5 o'clock news, we will show you who's trying to grow and sell this hemp. What a face.
I just want to spit it out, but I won't.
I like the hemp burger.
More fun. I'm Consumer Bob in San Francisco on the trail of people using marijuana, but they're not smoking it, they're eating it and wearing it. It's a bizarre story, and I'll have it for you in a few minutes here on News 8.
Today, a group of California entrepreneurs wants to legalize the marijuana plant, but they have no plans to smoke it. Consumer Bob is here with details.
And certainly a controversial issue. They've tried to do this for years, and so far, no luck. Did you know you could walk around with marijuana and do it legally? Now, before you do something you shouldn't, let me explain. Hemp or cannabis is perhaps one of the most versatile plants in the world. And I'm not talking about getting high, but there is a problem. You can't legally grow it here. A group wants to change that, but so far their dreams have gone up in smoke.
This is a hemp silk blend, 60% hemp and 40% silk.
Candy Penn wants us to wear it. Richard Rose wants us to eat it.
I'm eating hemp. You're eating hemp.
Hemp, cannabis, better known as marijuana. Long illegal, it's now getting a new life in some very odd ways.
This plant has been around for thousands and thousands of years, and it's been very beneficial to humanity.
Beneficial as a fabric, as a food supplement, as a conversation piece. So if someone says, gee, that's a nice blouse you're wearing, what's it made out of?
Yeah, hemp, marijuana.
And it's all legal. While marijuana is illegal to smoke, the seeds and the stalks from the plant are perfectly okay. Fabric from hemp is worn all over the world.
It was used historically as rope, and then the first canvases were made out of hemp.
In fact, hemp was used by U.S. sailors during World War II.
Hemp for victory.
This government film was shown to Midwest farmers in 1942 to encourage them to grow marijuana.
Hemp for mooring ships. Hemp for tow lines. Hemp for tackle and gear.
But as soon as the war ended, the industry was once again abolished.
So today, hemp enthusiasts are trying to bring it back for fabric, paper, cosmetics, and food. Richard Rose makes cheese and vegetarian hamburgers using hemp seeds. Still, skeptics aren't so sure the move to legalize marijuana is so innocent.
Is this just a veiled attempt to legalize marijuana for smoking?
Not in my view, it's not, because you legalize hemp, you are not legalizing marijuana.
Now, people pushing these hemp products say you can't grow, or you can grow strains of marijuana that wouldn't be worth smoking. Today, Canada is experimenting with growing hemp, but most hemp seeds and fabric have to be imported from China, Thailand, and Hungary. So obviously, they'd like to see the product grown here, produced here, and they think there's a lot of money to be made.
And the debate will continue.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Bob.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. The only broadcasting network dedicated to ending the global war on drugs on iHeartRadio.